1140 The Fan.
Talkin' Money!
And we're back to Talkin' Money with your host, Jeff Tarbell.
What's happening, eh?
Lots of stuff.
Someone stole my stuff there, eh?
5 to 6 million pounds of this stuff.
Oh, so it wasn't hockey players, and it wasn't Pam Anderson, and it could be Molson.
Could be Molson.
They don't do Molson in
not.
pounds, do they?
You know what?
How many bottles of Molson there, eh?
5 to 6 million pounds of this product has gone missing from Canada.
5 to 6, what now?
5 to 6 million pounds.
Dude, how do you steal 5 million pounds of anything?
At a value of $20 million.
What is it there, eh?
That would be maple syrup.
Oh.
Pancakes anymore?
I cannot eat another pancake. I'm going to throw up. So if you walk into someone's garage and there's like an extra 5,000 pounds of maple syrup in their garage, you might turn them over to the Mounties.
Yeah, somehow cargo trucks have gone missing with maple syrup.
Well, no, I like the part you were reading there about like the CSI thing. We're going to track down other maple syrup, and it has a certain DNA to it, so they can test and see if they're getting
exactly. Yeah, they do certain testing, and they inject it, pull it out to determine if it is part of the stock that's gone missing.
So if you are, I'm terrible with geography. So what's below Quebec on the United States side? Is that New York?
New York.
Okay, so if you're in New York,
Vermont, New York,
and you're eating some pancakes at your table, and some dude walks in and takes a sample of your syrup, you are screwed. If that matches, and what if you bought the same sample earlier? I don't know. This is like the same thing like buying meat out of an unrefrigerated truck. You ever see a guy drives around, you want to buy some meat? No, I don't buy my meat out of a van. But if someone wants to sell you syrup out of a duffel bag, then maybe you shouldn't be buying some.
I think there's a little bit of a difference, but anyhow, that is fine.
You just walk around with your Voda bag. How much syrup do you want today, sir? I'm not doing that. So we're missing
bootleg and syrup.
We're missing the syrup. Only the Canadians can have a national outrage over $20 million of syrup missing. Hey, that's a lot of syrup. So we are our last segment. We do a little real estate talk today. We are. In West Sacramento, doing a little open house tour with Dan and Tish Abraham. Tish is going to pick up the microphone now. And actually, this is the point where John and I, we just get up and leave. And we leave.
We'll let you talk.
She just threw up in her mouth. So this is what we should do that one time. We'll just get up, put our headphones down, and just walk out and just see. Okay, you got about 16 minutes. Yeah, 16 minutes is not that long to cover.
We'll be back in 15 and a half.
Unless you're not ready to cover 16 minutes. And so this is. So we're at your listing, and you don't see a lot of open houses anymore because the market it's just been so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was telling earlier today I had more kind of face-to-face meetings this week than I have in a long time, and almost every client to a T said, "Oh yeah, it must be just a great buyer's market right now because rates are so low." And I look at them and say, "Rates are low, but if you could show me like 5 more houses, I'd be really appreciative." Because I got like a whole bunch of clients that are just sitting around going, "For the love of God, I can't find anything to buy." And it doesn't really matter. I guess on the higher end, there's, if you're over $1 million, there's a fair amount of inventory. But boy, under 400, it's really tough.
It is really tough. And you've got to show a property within hours of it going on the market. Otherwise, there's already offers on it. And
yeah, and I do a little email around to some realtors that I know, and I say, would you like us to come out to an open house and do it? Because we like to get out of the studio and do these things. And even in the past, if you had a house, let's say we were in this house and it was already in escrow, most agents would still hold an open house because it's a great way for you to meet people that are looking for homes. And you can say, well, this one looks like it's going to go, but I could show you something similar to it. And now most of the realtors you talk to are like, God, I'm afraid to get another buyer. I don't know what to go show them, and it's sad.
It is sad,
and it's frustrating for the home buyers too. So I brought this article out and we don't hear much about this yet, but this has got to have an influence on what's going on, and maybe not in California, maybe other places. But so you take a look at this article here, the Blackstone Group, which is an investment group. They have spent more than $1 billion this year buying foreclosed homes. So they've bought about 6,500 foreclosed homes.
Wow.
And there's some other they figure about $8 billion will be spent in the next couple of years, picking up anywhere between 40 to 80,000 homes. Now, if someone's coming in to purchase 80,000 homes as an investment home, that's going to make it very difficult for you and I to find a house. Now, clearly, they're not buying $500,000, $1 million homes because that's not a rental market. They're looking for the same stuff that we're all looking for.
Yes.
Which is that stuff that if you're looking for an investment property, you want something that with a reasonable down payment will cover itself, maybe, ideally.
Right.
And if you're a first-time buyer or a buyer coming back in the market after 3 or 4 years, you decided, okay, this time I'm not going to make the same mistake as last time. I'm going to buy what I can afford, and that probably means something between $200,000 and $400,000 because that's about what you could rent for. And you walk out there, man, there's nothing.
There's nothing out there.
There's nothing. So I get this question a lot from my people that are coming in to get pre-approved. Hey, do I really need an agent? I mean, it's going to cost me money, right, to have an agent to go out and find me a house. And I said, you don't need an agent. You don't need a doctor. You don't need a dentist. If you like to pull your own tooth and fix your own spine, you go right ahead. But you will not get the house you want without an agent. I mean, being on their MLS system, getting the immediate email, boom, this just came on the market, and literally having your agent sit there and go, okay, this house just came on the market. I know I have 2 clients right now that this is perfect for them. And your agent doesn't just send you a little email, hey, John, when you get a chance, drive by and look at this house. Your agent gets you on the phone and says, get your butt off your desk, put down your lunch, and go look at this house right now, because I'm telling you right now, by 5 o'clock tonight, if we're not writing an offer, you will not get it. Now, that's what you're getting, and you're not paying anything as a buyer for that service. And I don't know how many times I have to say that, but people believe, well, I would get a better deal if I didn't have an agent because the other agent would like discount the price, right? No. The other agent's going to do the work that your buyer's agent would have done. It's a lot of work that goes on, and if they're going to do twice the work, they should get paid twice the money. So get yourself an agent, buyers. And if you haven't figured that out yet, I know the internet makes you think you can find it on your own, but it's what you're getting on the internet is about a day late. And
right.
A day late in this market is $1
that's
short.
What you're going to find. You're going to find it's gone already.
A day late. Now I'm going to do a little quiz for you guys here because this is a little marketing quiz. You guys ready? I didn't even test John here. What are we doing?
Let's see what we got. Come on now.
So these are keywords that realtors use to sell a property, and there's two effects of these words. So one of them is it makes the property sell faster, and one of them makes the price go higher. So I'm going to give you the words. Maybe we can use some of these keywords on this listing house that we haven't already. So I'm going to give you some words. You tell me which one makes the house sell the quickest. All right? Beautiful, move-in condition, landscaping, starter home, handyman special, good value, or motivated. Which of those words do you think actually makes the house sell quicker?
Motivated.
Motivated.
Yeah.
Motivated would be number 2.
Move-in ready.
That would be almost the last one. The fastest keywords for expecting time to sell a house is handyman special.
Really?
No kidding.
Now,
everybody wants a deal. That's why they think they're getting a deal.
Effect on the final sales price. If you use the word handyman special, expect a 30% lower price for that home.
Wow.
So those 2 words combined, and that's what people are looking for, myself included. You find me a Thrasher house in a decent neighborhood, I'm interested. Because I got guys that can fix it, and do it. So the number 1 word for getting the highest price, let's see, effect on price. So we want move-in condition. Move-in condition doesn't really. Beautiful gets 5% higher, and landscaping gets 6% higher. So if
I was going to say landscaping.
So if you say beautiful landscaping, we should be able to add the numbers together. That's 11. Yeah, we want 11%. So that does make it. But yeah, a handyman special. If you're ever Hey, we're back there, Chris. Here we're back. Sorry about that. I don't know. I'm not sure what's doing that. We're getting a little clickier. And we know it on this end now, too. There's about a 60-second delay there. So we're paying. John is throwing his coins in the pay machine as fast as he can. Get some more quarters out, boy.
I'm running low.
You're running low on quarters. So there you go. So if your realtor puts on your listing that it's a handyman special, you're probably going to get the house sold, but be prepared. You're going to get a little discount in your price. So go look at your own listing and see if it says beautiful landscaping. Good value doesn't seem to do much there. So there you go. That's some of our words there. And the market is picking up a little bit. I did note a couple things that are going to come at you, and these are important to know because, where are we at? October, you still could sell your house in this year if you needed to. But one of the things that is coming into effect next year with part of the Obama plan on the health care is the 3.8% surtax, which comes in on the profits from the sale of certain properties. And it's for certain income limits as well. But this article, according to this article, even applies to primary residences if you make more than because you remember you get an allowance for a primary residence. You get $250,000 per person. So if you really hit a home run on your primary residence, you could be subject to that tax of 3.8%. But the vacation homes and investment properties. And this article even alludes to the fact that maybe even your rent income you're getting could be subject to a 3.8% tax starting next year. And this goes into, I believe, into the Medicare fund for the health care proposal that starts next year. So if you're looking at something where you're thinking, yeah, kind of maybe looking at unloading that vacation home or that rental property, I made a fairly good return on it. Should I sell it now or should I sell it next year? Well, there may be a 3.8% incentive to you to get it unloaded before the end of the year. So think about that.
And we need the innovation.
Yeah, we need some houses too, please. So really think about that, particularly if you're selling the lower end rental properties. I did note we've been talking about the kind of the financial cliff, and I don't know if you follow that term, but that is a term reference to of what happens if Congress and the president don't settle on a budget before the end of the year, which is unlikely to happen now at this point in time. And there's some key provisions that come into play, but it's kind of just a general rule. What's going to happen is there are some mandatory increases, some tax cuts that we've had where they reference to the Bush tax cuts will end December 31st, and they'll revert back to some original tax planning, which basically is going to mean almost a tax increase across the board, regardless of your income, starting on January 1. What it also means is there is some massive spending cuts that come into play as well. One of them is the military. They come into play on January 1. And just kind of following along some pundits this week, some people believe that there are people in the government that don't want to resolve the budget issue before the end of the year because they want this to happen. They want to see an increase in tax income and a significant offsetting decrease in expenditures because they think that's the only way we're ever going to get back in line with our income and expense, because it takes it out of the hands of budgeters and it just says, boom, we're cutting this, this, and this, our income's going up. So you get an immediate flip of income and expense to try to work us back into a balanced budget. And who do you blame? You can't really blame anybody. You can blame them all because they didn't resolve the problem, but you don't get to blame anybody. Because always say, well, this was settled years ago, and we didn't do it. It just happened. It goes into play automatically. So there are some people that believe that not everybody inside the government is in a big hurry to fix that. It will force their hands into saving some money. So we'll see what happens here, and these may apply to you. So alternative minimum tax is one that is expired but is up for renewal. Deductions for state and local taxes, so that's expired. IRA charitable contributions for taxpayers 70 and a half and older. Educators classroom expense deduction, that's already expired. And I've got a lot of teacher clients who they make decent money, but they also spend a fair amount of their own money on their own class and their own kids. Yep. And I think it certainly is reasonable that they should be able to deduct that from their income if it's a true business expense. We do it. And I mean, in the business world, if we have a legitimate business expense, it gets to come off. Well, that's already expired. I don't know if the teachers know that. And these are the items that will expire right after the first of the year. The Social Security tax cut. Do you guys remember that? Mm-mm. So this was another bait and switch, which when it came out, I said, this is not a tax cut. What they did is they reduced the amount of the withholding from Social Security from our end of things for employees. So it wasn't. All we did was we just put more money into Social Security, and so the Social Security fund now goes faster, drier, or drier faster, however you want to put it. But it wasn't really a tax cut, and so we're going to see that come back into place real quick here. Chris is texting me. We got a person on hold. Chris, go ahead and bring up Paul if you want. We'll get him in here before the show's over. Paul, this is Jeff Talkin Money. How you doing?
Hey, Jeff. I got kind of an interesting dilemma here.
Okay.
We listed our home a week ago for $175, and since then we've gotten an offer for $178 and $185. The $185 we pay closing on, so it's kind of close to the $178. But I'm wondering, do you relist the home and just up the ante? I mean, what do you do in a case like this?
Well, so how many offers did you get? Did you get a number of offers or just one?
No, we've gotten 4 offers. But
you got 4 offers.
Okay. In 1 week. So I think we underlisted the home when we put it on the market. It is my fear that, because we've already got 2 offers that are above asking.
Well, here's the problem, Paul, and you can jump in where you want there. I doubt you underlisted the price because your realtor more than likely is very familiar with what the market's doing, knows what it should get. The reason you got a few over asking price offers is because the other realtors knew there was competition on it, so they're trying to beat each other out. And the one person wanted you to pay their closing fees, so they needed to throw that in there for you.
Right.
The issue you might have is getting that house appraised.
Right.
So, and I don't know if I mentioned this even on my own house when I sold it. My own house, I had a couple different offers, and I had cut a deal with somebody, and I had told them I don't think it's going to appraise for what you're offering me, and they said we don't care. So, it's one thing if Paul, if you have some offers there where they're putting 20 or 25% down, they can offer more than asking. It doesn't really matter what it appraises for, but if they're all FHA or minimum down, that house is going to have to appraise.
Otherwise, they're not going to get their loan.
Otherwise, they're not going to get their loan.
And they're going to ask you to reduce your price, even though they offered you more.
Right. So does that make sense, Paul?
Yeah, it does. The interesting thing is, in the little small town we're in a town called Newman in the San Joaquin Valley. There is no comp to our house because, quite frankly, we've not to brag or anything, but we have by far the nicest house for sale. We've been to all the other listings in town because there's only 10, and there is no comp to ours.
Yeah, and that is a challenge. I mean, having the nicest house on the block, quite frankly, we're probably sitting in one. That's the nicest house on the block in this place, and they're going to have the same challenge here. I think is that you have such a beautiful property, and everybody in the world wants to buy it, but the lending community looks around and says, "Geez, we don't want to finance the one white elephant in the group." Right. So now are all your offers minimum down, Paul? Are they all FHA or what are they?
One's FHA and one they're putting down 16.5.
Okay, they're putting down about 10%. So
conventional, yeah.
Unconventional, yeah. So that one might be the stronger offer, only from the standpoint that if the house comes in a little bit short, they could still put down their 16.5 and maybe get 95% financing as opposed to 90. So there's a little flexibility in there. So
Paul, if I can mention too, also remember that with FHA, whatever loan gets done on your house, that loan will stick to your house for at least 6 months, sometimes 4. So whatever value the FHA appraisal comes in at, anyone else buying with an FHA loan is going to be stuck to that value unless they can come up with the cash difference.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I would try the cash offer first, or the 16.5 offer first, and then if that doesn't work out, then go to the FHA offer.
I hate to say that because I have some great FHA buyers, but in your case where you're probably going to be at a price, I'd probably counter them back so they were at the higher price. You're probably going to be at a price that's above your appraised value, and you're going to need them to have a little extra cash room in that case. Yeah,
I'd counter them back and see if they can come in at the price that you're looking for and hope that it appraises.
All right, very good. Thank you. Been very
okay,
helpful.
Paul. Yeah, thank you. Good luck to you, and I'm glad someone's selling. I hope you're going to go out and buy another house. That's it. That's how music means we are done for the hour. Took us longer to get here than it did to do the show.
Everybody awake now?
No.
We're all awake.
All my cold medication's worn off. I'm about wiped out. Hey, Chris, I'm sorry I missed your 30 seconds from mine. Christopher Laud. We'll do that when we're back in the studio next week. Tish and Dan, what's your website if they want to get some information on this house or some others?
www.danandtish.com. That
should be fairly easy. That's John Fodorero. My name's Jeff Tarbell. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on the street corner, probably. If I don't get any gas down at the corner, I'll be at the corner of Reed and 80 with my thumb out. and that's it. So we'll catch you next Saturday, everybody. Have a great week. It's going to be a little cooler.
Yeah.
Maybe want to cut my grass. I had to fire my landscape guy today, so I got to do it on my own. I got to go to work. We'll see you next week, everybody. You can find me at jefftarbell.com. Be cool. Aloha.